Who was Keziah in the Bible? Who was Keziah in the Bible? By combining both biblical text and insights from Catholic tradition, we can gather that Keziah's story, while brief, is rich with symbolism and speaks of God's ability to restore and bless, even after the most challenging times. Biblical mention: Keziah is mentioned in the book of Job, specifically in Job 42:14. The Bible tells us that she is one of Job's 3 daughters born to him after his time of suffering and restoration. Significance of her name: Keziah's name is of Hebrew origin, meaning kasha, which is a sweet-smelling spice. The use of this name implies a sense of beauty and value, as kasha was a valuable spice in ancient times. Beauty and favor: the Bible describes Keziah and her sisters as the most beautiful women in all the land. This description emphasizes their exceptional beauty and the favor they found in their circumstances. Equal inheritance: in a cultural context where sons usually receive the inheritance, Job gave an inheritance to Keziah and her sisters. This action signifies a break from tradition and highlights the value and equality Job placed on his daughters. Restoration and blessing: Keziah's life serves as a symbol of restoration and blessing. Her birth and prosperity occurred after Job's period of suffering, showing that she was part of Job's blessings when his fortunes were restored. Catholic tradition and interpretation: while the Bible does not provide extensive details about Keziah's life, Catholic tradition holds a deep respect for the scriptures and the lessons they impart. In this tradition, Keziah's story can be seen as an example of God's ability to bring restoration and blessings after a time of suffering and loss. Role in Job's story: though Keziah is not a central character in the book of Job, her presence contributes to the narrative of Job's restoration. Her life is a testament to the restoration of beauty, prosperity, and blessings. Who was Keziah in the Bible? Who was Keziah in the Bible? Keziah is a character from the book of Job, known as one of Job's daughters. She isn't a central figure, but she plays a significant role in illustrating the story of restoration and grace. Now, let's delve deeper into her life, her background, and the invaluable lessons we can draw from her story. Keziah is mentioned in the Bible as one of Job's daughters. She represents restoration and grace. Her story is a testament to God's faithfulness and mercy. Here's a table that breaks down the life of Job, his vocation, and religious practices. Aspect details: name Job, pronounced Job, era and location: lived in the land of Uz, believed to be in the Middle East, during an unknown period. Family: Job had a large family, including 7 sons and 3 daughters. He was also blessed with more children later in life. Vocation: he was a wealthy man, owning large amounts of livestock and having numerous servants, indicating he was likely involved in agriculture and possibly trade. Reputation: Job was known for his integrity, blamelessness, and fear of God. He was respected and esteemed in his community. Religious practices: Job regularly offered burnt offerings on behalf of his family, seeking to atone for any sins they might have committed unknowingly. He was devout in his worship and consistently sought to live righteously. Trials: Job experienced severe trials, including the loss of his children, wealth, and health. These trials were a test of his faith and integrity. Responses to trials: despite his suffering, Job remained steadfast in his faith. Though he did express confusion and distress about his circumstances, he engaged in deep discussions about suffering and righteousness with his friends. Resolution: God eventually spoke to Job, challenging his understanding of divine justice and power. Job responded with humility, recognizing his limited understanding. Restoration: following his acknowledgement of God's sovereignty, Job was restored and blessed with even more than he had before his trials. Legacy: Job is remembered as a man of great patience, faith, and perseverance. His story is often cited in discussions about suffering, faith, and the nature of God. Keziah's lineage: exploring Keziah's lineage opens up a window to understanding her place in the biblical narrative. She was a daughter of Job, a man of great faith who endured severe trials. Her lineage is a tapestry woven with threads of resilience and unwavering faith. Job's story, filled with trials and triumphs, remains a powerful testimony of faith, endurance, and divine restoration. Historical timeline of Keziah's time: the era in which Keziah lived was marked by trials and faith. Understanding this timeline helps to put her story into context, offering a glimpse into the life and challenges faced by her and her family. Creating a historical timeline for the life of Job is a bit tricky because the Bible doesn't provide specific dates for his life, and scholars have different opinions about when he might have lived. However, I can give you a general idea of what was happening in the world around the time that many believe Job might have lived. Let's dive in. Ancient world. Around 2000 to 1500 BCE. Early civilizations. Major civilizations like Egypt and Mesopotamia were well established and thriving. These regions had developed writing systems, monumental architecture, and complex societies. The pyramids of Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, had already been standing for several hundred years, showcasing the incredible architectural capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. Abraham's journey. Around 2000 BCE, Abraham, a key figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, would have been making his journey from Ur to Canaan, establishing the beginnings of the Israelite people. Indus Valley Civilization. In South Asia, the Indus Valley Civilization was at its peak, known for its advanced urban planning and impressive cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Possible time of job, around 1500 BCE, height of the Egyptian Empire. Egypt was a dominant power in the region, with pharaohs like Thutmose III leading military expeditions that expanded Egypt's influence. Bronze Age. This was the tail end of the Bronze Age, a time when bronze tools and weapons were widespread, and trade networks connected distant regions. Shang Dynasty in China. In East Asia, the Shang Dynasty was establishing itself, laying the foundations for Chinese civilization. Hittite Empire. The Hittites in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, were becoming a major power in the region, known for their military strength and innovative ironworking. After Job's time, around 1000 BCE, Kingdom of Israel. After Job's presumed lifetime, the Kingdom of Israel would be established under Saul, David, and Solomon, becoming a significant player in the region. Assyrian Empire rising. The Assyrian Empire was on the rise, eventually becoming one of the most powerful empires of the ancient Near East. Phoenicians and trade. The Phoenicians, living in the coastal areas of modern-day Lebanon and Syria, were becoming renowned as sailors and traders, establishing colonies and spreading their alphabet. Conclusion. While we can't pinpoint exactly when Job lived, looking at the broader historical context helps us understand the world he might have been a part of. Job's story is timeless, but situating it in the ancient world adds another layer of richness to our understanding. Father, grandfather, minister, missionary, deacon, elder, author, welcome to our family. View all posts.